Yo, what's good, YouTube? Zamcrow here, aka Scoop, back with the Draft League World Series once again. We have another speed tournament here. We just finished our draft. I drafted Tapu Koko, Hydreigon, Mega Gallade, Tangrowth, Nidoqueen, Scizor, Swampert, and Vullaby, as you can see on screen. And I got to pick two Z move users, and I picked Tapu Koko and Hydreigon. We're getting ready to get our first matchups, and we're gonna hop into those battles. So I'm gonna end it here for just a second. I'm gonna get my prep done, and then I'll be back with the battle. All the battles, that is. All right, so here we are with game one, and we're facing off against Ginger, one of our buddies from the Pokemon Battle Federation, and he's got a pretty interesting squad. He's got the potential for Weavile, Excadrill, Garchomp, Mimikyu, Delphox, the Cutie Fly, which is actually pretty interesting, Suicune, and Mega Manectric. So a pretty scary squad with access to Z Garchomp and Z Mimikyu. Our squad is like I mentioned, and I'll go over our team briefly. We have a Choice Scarf Tapu Koko with U-Turn, Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, and Hidden Power Fire. A Sugarberry Nidoqueen with Earth Power, Ice Beam, Toxic Spikes, and Stealth Rock. Pretty nice set, especially versus the squad that he brings. We have a Mega Gallade with Bulk Up, Drain Punch, Zen Headbutt, and Knock Off. And we have a Tangrowth with Leech Seed, Giga Drain, Earthquake, Hidden Power Ice. And then a Scald, Earth Power, Ice Beam, Roar, Rindo Berry, Swampert. It should be said that Leftovers is our Tangrowth's item. And then we have the Eviolite Vullaby with U-Turn, Foul Play, Roost, and Whirlwind. So, should be okay. I think Nidoqueen is a fine lead. And that's what we're going to lead with. So, let's get into it. And he leads off with the Cutie Fly as expected. So, we could Ice Beam this, but we're just going to get our Stealth Rock up as he gets Web up. That was pretty expected, but nothing we could really do about it. He can't really do much to us that I know of. I'm going to check his moveset real quick. Just make sure I'm not overlooking something. It goes for the Energy Ball. And that bounces off. So we can just click Ice Beam here and see how much we're going to do. Or we could get up a second layer of Toxic Spikes. And I think a second layer is nice. But I'm going to click Ice Beam. See what he wants to go for. And it does negligible. Basically no damage to him either. So here's where Sludge Wave would have been nice, and he didn't bring the Garchomp, so Sludge Wave would have actually been really, really, really nice. I don't see him going hard to Weavile here, so I'm just going to click the Ice Beam again. And he's steadily going for Energy Ball. So I just need to click Ice Beam. Okay. He's got Roost. So that's interesting. Energy Ball. Probably Moonblast is his last move. I'm just seeing how much damage he's taking here from Nidoqueen. Cutie Fly. Blank set. Let's say it's Eviolite. Say max HP. Say it's max HP. It should take around it's taking 27, so it's like max HP and max SPDEF or something. So not quite max SPDEF, but it does have quite a bit of SPDEF investment. Probably calm nature. So what would Coco do in the terrain? We'd do about 68% minimum. So keeping this thing low would be really, really nice. Don't have a counterplay here. I could go hard Swampert, but he does have the energy ball. I do have the Rendo though. That would make Manectric a huge threat though. It's becoming a huge threat anyway though. I'm gonna go into Tangrowth actually and throw off a Leech Seed. It goes for the Moonblast and it does 20%. In comes the Excadrill though, so he's more than likely going to be spinning here. So I'm just going to take the opportunity to Earthquake here. And his most likely play. I guess he could go Weavile. I'm just going to click Earthquake again. Yeah, it catches the Delphox upon switching. So here I can just hard switch into Volibee. He can't knock me out here with Timid Fire Blast. So we should be in an okay position here. We can take another upon switching. And I think he's going to go hard into his Manectric. So what I'm going to do is U-turn out here. As he just goes out into the Cutie Fly. So that's interesting. I'm going to go out into Nidoqueen and start setting up I'm going to set up my rocks again. Delphox comes hard in. He can't afford to go for Psychic because of my Volibee. So he's more than likely going to click the Flamethrower again. I think Swampert would be an okay play here. And then I would have a pretty decent time clicking Scald. Potentially catch a burn on the Cutie Fly and weaken that. And it also covers his double, or his switch into Mega Manectric. If he goes Manectric here, predicting my Volibee. Okay, he just goes for the Psychic, so that's kind of, that's okay. I don't have to take the damage, so I'm going to go into Volibee here. Alright, so I'm winning this exchange on the long run here. I can go for Leech Seed here, and whatever he goes into isn't going to appreciate it, and if he stays in with this, he's not going to be able to do more than 20% to me. As we saw earlier, Moonblast only does 20%. He could go into his Weavile, but that gives me an opportunity to get a round of Rocks damage and Leech Seed damage off on it, as well as being able to sack something off to avoid it being a huge threat. And he goes into his Excadrill here, and he's more than likely going to try to get Rocks gone, I assume. I'm going to go into Volibee and try to get a Roost off here. He could go hard into Weavile, and Weavile is a threat. So he goes Manectric. I'm going to run a calc real quick and see if my Volibee can actually live and make a Manectric hit. I don't think it can, but it's worth the calc in my opinion. So it actually does 80% maximum. So if he goes for like Hidden Power Grass or Hidden Power Ice, predicting my Niddle Queen to come in, I would have a huge advantage, and I would be able to U-turn out. You could also go for overheat, predicting my. I'm gonna go for the U-turn. See what he wants to go for here. As he goes for the hidden power, looks to be grass. Looks to be grass, because it was not very effective. So he shouldn't have a way to hit Niddle Queen. I should be able to go into Niddle Queen here and get rocks up. Yeah, I should be able to get rocks back up with Niddle Queen. So that's what I'm going to go for here. See what can happen. So he goes into Excadrill here. And so basically here he has to spin. Otherwise he loses Delphox and I keep rocks up. But I'm going to click Earth Power here because I am Shookaberry. And I can get rid of this Excadrill finally. So yeah, down go the rocks. So that's nice. We need Niddle Queen still. Don't have a solid counterplay at this point. So Swampert's our least valuable mon. He goes for the knockoff here, gets rid of our Rindoberry. So that's actually not bad. We can click Scald here pretty freely. Another knockoff shouldn't knock us out. Unless he gets a critical hit. It should do significantly less thanks to my item being gone. And we should get a nice Scald off here versus something. He could go hard to the Cutie Fly, which would give me rocks and toxic spikes, potentially both, which would be awesome. So he does go to the Cutie Fly and takes quite a bit of damage from Scald. That was pretty nice damage. However, he can go if he attacks and uses Okay, let's see what he goes for here. He does Roost up. Okay, so that's solid for us. What we're going to do here is get rocks up. Now he goes into Mimikyu. So basically we can't let this thing get a free setup up, like Swords Dance or Bulk Up or whatever it may be. We can't let it freely do that. We do have to click and attack here. This may weaken us. Yeah, okay, that absolutely just demolishes us. Okay, so yeah, we should have probably sacked Swampert there. I'm going to go into Tapu Koko here and start firing off some electric terrain boosted thunderbolts. I'm going to break this thing's disguise. I'm going to go for Thunderbolt again. If Mimikyu goes down, Gallade's a pretty solid win condition. So I'm not gonna let Tapu Koko go down just in case he had Shadow Sneak. So down goes the Mimikyu. See what he wants to go into here. Oh, he goes into his Delphox. Chooses not to save it as a sack for some reason. I'm not real sure of the thought process behind that. Electric Terrain is up. This thing doesn't... Okay, so he has to have Flamethrower, right? Otherwise, he's not doing much damage to me because he's either got Thunderbolt or the Hidden Power Grass. Swampert is of no use to me. However, what I can do... So he's got Flamethrower. I wonder how much damage that does to my Tangrowth. Flamethrower does 76%, and a burnt Tangrowth does 20 to 24% back. So he's 100% going for the Hidden Power Grass here. He has to. Flamethrower doesn't knock me out. Thunderbolt's an unplay. I take 6% from burn, so I'll be at 94%. I take the Hidden Power Grass, and it does 10%, so I'd be at 84%. Meaning... And let's see how much my Gallade does without a boost to a Mega Manectric. So my play may be to go into Tangrowth here. Take one hit. Click Earthquake. My play here is to click Earthquake. Get some chip damage off on this Manectric. Yeah, I will live. Yep, get some nice chip damage off on the Manectric. Now I go out into the Swampert. Go out in the Swampert, sack this thing off. Because it doesn't matter what he goes for, he'll be able to 2-hit KO me here. I'm trying to make sure. Let's see here. How much does Thunderbolt do? And Drain Punch should keep me out of range of Weavile. So Weavile is definitely not choice banded because it only did 37. So it's basically Jolly with potentially no boosting item. It could potentially be a Choice Scarf Weavile as well. So it's definitely not a boosting item, that's for sure. So if I can go into Mega Gallade here, knock out the Mega Manectric with Drain Punch, that should be the play. That should be the play. Yeah, I should be able to knock him out with Drain Punch here. If I was no bulk, Thunderbolt still couldn't do as much damage to me as he would like. Let me just check, see here on the Cutie Fly. Well, actually, there's no reason to calc this because there's no other play for me. I have to go into Tangrowth. I think I have to go into Tangrowth. Do I need Tangrowth anymore? It doesn't take a hit from Weavile. It doesn't take a hit from... It's the only thing that's able to hit Cutie Fly though, right? However... Okay, I could go into Tangrowth here, sack it off, and then go hard into Tapu Koko. And then Thunderbolt claims a kill. I will either knock out the Cutie Fly, knock out the Mega Manectric, or I'll knock out the Weavile. Let me just double check something real quick here. If this thing is Eviolite, it's max HP, and let's say it's got probably that much defense. Say it's bold with Moonblast. Moonblast can't 2-hit KO us. Zen Headbutt could potentially knock it out from this range. I think the play is to go into Tangrowth. So what I didn't calc was how much Moonblast would be doing to my Volibee. So I'm going to go into my Volibee here. I'm going to go into my Volibee because it's not very useful versus Weavile and the Mega Manectric. So what I can do here, I'm going to Roost up first, and then I'm going to Whirlwind. And then I'm going to Whirlwind. So in comes this Weavile. In comes his Weavile. So he was not a boosting item. He's not a boosting item. So from this range, he actually can't knock me out with an Icicle Crash. But Foul Play's not doing much back to him either. And Icicle Crash is doing way too much to roost off. You could U-turn out as well and get a little bit of chip damage off on him. So I don't need Koko. Mega Gallade can knock out the Weavile. If I bulk up here versus the Weavile, what did it go for? It went for the knockoff. He could be Foul Play, which would do significantly more if we were at +1 though. It kind of evens out the whole time. Now let's go back for the Cutie Fly set though. Max HP, bold, Eviolite. About 156 at +1. Zen Headbutt should knock him out after rocks, but I would still have to take one round of I could click knockoff here as well. I think Drain Punch is the play. Okay. Okay here. um so how much did Cutie Fly do to Wallaby earlier? It did 20, about 30%. So I could switch in here and roost up. Yeah, I think that's a fine play. I could whirlwind him, but I think roost is the better play. And now I'm going to U-turn out. Well, I guess I should have been roosted once more. I'm going to throw off a leech seed here. Okay, I'm just in autopilot right now. I'm not really explaining my thought process. Alright, so we're going to go back into our Tangrowth here. Reason being is we'll be able to take one round of Moonblast here, but we'll get Leech Seed back as well, so that'd be really nice. And we can finally start firing off attacks here. We can start firing off some Giga Drains. Won't be doing much, but it'll be doing consistently annoying damage. And he's basically forced to roost here. So he's forced to roost here. I'm able to get in my Vullaby, and now I can just double back out into my Tangrowth and get some more Regenerator. Alright, so this is okay. Not ideal, but it's still okay. Forcing him to roost on the following turn. He will eventually run out of roost. He only has a few left. And we're going to be able to eventually take this thing down. Just click Hidden Power Ice again. He goes for the Energy Ball this time, so I'm going to be able to knock him out with Hidden Power Ice this round with the combination of Leech Seed damage. So yeah, I just let Tangrowth go down here, go into Mega Gallade the following turn, and just click Drain Punch, and that should begin it. Alright, so that's going to be game one, and we'll be back with game two. Alright, so here we are with game two, and for this matchup we're facing off against Shiny, and he has a team of Mew, Clefable, Mega Lopunny, Darmanitan, Alomomola, Lycanroc Day, Skuntank, and the Gligar. So he had 1 point remaining after his draft, which isn't bad. He's got some huge threats like his first 3 months, specifically Mew, Clefable, and Mega Lopunny. His Z-move users are Mew and Lycanroc Day, so very scary squad. We'll talk about my team for just a second. We have a Magnet, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Ice, Tapu Koko with Taunt and Roost. We have Roost, Life Orb, Hydreigon with Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse, and Flash Cannon. We have a Swords Dancing, Mega Gallade with Close Combat, Zen Headbutt, and X Scissor. I should have maybe ran Drain Punch, but it's okay. We've got a defensive Black Sludge Poison Point Nidoqueen to switch into Mega Lopunny with Earthquake, Poison Jab, and Ice Punch with Toxic Spikes. We've got Stealth Rock on Swampert, Max Defense, Max HP to take on Darmanitan with Scald, Earthquake, Roar, and Stealth Rock. And last but not least, we have an Octoberry, Max Attack, Adamant, Scizor with enough speed to outpace some of his slower mons. Obviously can't outpace none of his quicker mons with U-Turn, Bullet Punch, Pursuit, and Roost. So not a bad squad at all. And yeah, we'll hop into the battle now. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw up my Stealth Rock. I'm not sure what he wants to go for here. And he reveals Grass Knot, but that bounces off. That's not going to be doing much. Now I'm not sure if he's got U-Turn. And if he's got U-Turn and he goes for it here, that could be very problematic for me. I think my best play is to just click Scald. At the same time, I like to keep health on Swampert, but this is only doing 30% and I do have leftovers. So at worst case scenario, I would be at about, let's say 58 plus about 64, so about 64%. And then this thing gone and I would get another round of leftovers, so about 70% actually. So I don't mind to take another Grass Knot, and I think Scald will knock this thing out. I'm just going to calc it real quick, just to make sure I don't have to click Earthquake, and I think Earthquake is actually the better play here. Yeah, we're going to click the Earthquake here, as it will do more damage to everything else on the squad outside of Gligar. And Mew, while I like the potential to burn it, I don't necessarily think it will stay in and just click. I think it will be more of a setup variant, so I think it's going to set up and then I can just roar it out potentially. He does go hard Mew here, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Earthquake does a good chunk though. However, he could be the Grass Knot or Energy Ball or something. I'm going to go into Scizor because I have the Octoberry and I can just U-turn out here and see what he wants to go for. He could go for Flamethrower, but I do have the Octoberry, so it shouldn't be able to knock us out here. And he reveals Gigavolt Havoc, but it doesn't take us out, and we're able to U-turn out. Oh man, that's fantastic. That opens up a hole for Mega Gallade perfectly. Opens up a big hole for Mega Gallade. Not only that, it opens up a big hole for Nidoqueen as well. Speaking of Nidoqueen, I'm going to go into it here. I'm going to go into Nidoqueen here and see what we can get going. What I'm going to try to do is bait out the... okay, see, if he goes Clefable, I knock it out with Poison Jab. If he goes Skuntank, I knock it out with the Earthquake. If he goes Gligar, I knock it out with Ice Punch. Darmanitan gets knocked out with Earthquake. So his only play is to go into Mega Lopunny, but he actually brings out Darmanitan here. I don't need Swampert anymore. I am going to go hard into it, see what he wants to do. And now I'm just going to click Earthquake again. There's no reason for me to not click Earthquake. Gligar's not going to be doing much back to me. I'm going to click Scald here, see what he wants to go for. And he just clicks a U-turn, so that's interesting. He could go out into Clefable. Yeah, he does go out into Clefable here. And I get the burn. Did that? Oh, he was hurt by burn. So he is he's unaware and not Magic Guard. However, he was a setup variant last time. I'm not going to allow that again. I'm just going to go for the Roar. And since I don't necessarily need Swampert anymore, Darmanitan is in range. Well, I guess I'm going to keep it for Darmanitan. So yeah, I'm just going to go into Nidoqueen here. It is my designated check. 2 Mega Lopunny. I am Poison Point with and defensive, so that's nice. And I can just click... I think I can just click Earthquake here. as he goes hard out into the Gligar. Now, I do not have the Shukaberry, but I don't think he can knock me out. And if he does, is it a huge problem? I'm just going to click Ice Punch here. As Earthquake bounces off, but Ice Punch also bounces off of him. So that's a little bit unfortunate. So, what I can do here is just throw up a... He's going to Roost, right? What's Clefable at? Clefable's burned, but I'm pretty sure it's at full. And how much did it take from Scald? Took 18%. So I'm going to go hard into Hydreigon here. And click Dark Pulse. Life Orb boosted Dark Pulse. Or should I click Flash Cannon here first? He's going to U-turn out. He's not going to hard switch. So I think I should Dark Pulse. As he actually does, he doesn't U-turn out. He hard switches out. So had I just clicked Flash Cannon and went with my gut there, we would have been in a phenomenal position. Am I going to risk Hydreigon here to get this Clefable out of the way? I actually am. I don't want Clefable in. I don't want this thing. I want to be able to chip it down here, so I'm just going to keep clicking Flash Cannon. I don't care what he goes for. So he hard switches into a Darmanitan. So here what I'm going to do is go for my Swampert, because he doesn't have Defog unless it's a Gligar or a Skuntank, in which both cases I can threaten them pretty severely, actually. What do I want to do here? Do I want to go into what's Gligar at? So Gligar's at around 90%. I'm going to go into Nidoqueen. And I'm going to click Ice Punch, predicting the Gligar to come in, but he stays in and he goes for the Psychic, so not a bad play at all. Not a bad play at all. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Poison Jab as he reveals Kibia, so that's why he stayed in there. Not a bad play at all, but I do get Clefable weakened. And I think it's weakened enough to where I can go into Hydreigon. The only unfortunate thing is my Mega Lopunny check is gone. But yeah, what I can do here is go into Hydreigon here and click Flash Cannon. It doesn't matter what he goes into, and Clefable will be one-shotted here. He can go into the Mega Lopunny here. But I think my play is to not let that thing set up and to just click Dragon Pulse. So that's what I'm going to do here. I don't want it to set up, and it goes straight for the high jump kick. So that was a fine play. I'm going to go into what do I want to go into? I think I'm going to go into Mega Gallade and just click Close Combat. Or it could just Zen Headbutt. Yeah, I'm just going to go into Mega Gallade and click Zen Headbutt. It will catch the Gligar. If he goes hard into Gligar, I'm going to Swords Dance. He sacks off the Darmanitan, so that was a fine play. Unless I click Swords Dance there. Swords Dance there would have been game. Swords Dance there would have been game, man. What was that play? So, I got to do some calcs real quick. Get a defensive Gligar. Could potentially be 2-hit KO'd by a Swords Dancing variant here. But, what do I need? And what I need to win this game is my Mega Gallade at full health. So I can't necessarily let him go into Gligar here. I've got to click Scald. I got to go into Swampert here and click Scald. Had I Swords Dance up there, as you see, he would have roosted up, and my play would have been to click Zen Headbutt twice, but I opted not to. Not to click the the Swords Dance there, so it's a little bit of a mistake on my part. It would have been really nice to have got it on the Darmanitan sack as well. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, he does reveal hidden power. Hidden power grass, so that's pretty scary. But we do knock him out with the earthquake. So I'm glad the Scald Burn didn't come into play, since his play was to just click hidden power grass anyway. I think our play is to roar here. We can just roar him out, and he's able to knock us out. And I think we just go into Mega Glade once again and just click Zen Headbutt. If we miss though, we lose. So maybe that's not the play. Maybe the play is to click Close Combat, in which we could go Hard Cocoa after. Yeah, I'm just going to click Close Combat here. I don't want to miss. So he goes out into the Gligar as expected, pretty much. What I'm going to do is go hard into Cocoa and start clicking Hidden Power Ice to get some chip on this Gligar so that I can put it in range of Mega Glade. And if he goes hard into Mega Lopunny, then I will click Thunderbolt the following time. So I'm just going to click Hidden Power Ice again here. It is able to knock him out. So without a Life Orb or anything, we were able to 2-hit KO Gligar, so that's pretty nice. Pretty much what we needed. We're just going to stay in here and click Thunderbolt. He goes for the high jump kick, so maybe he doesn't have... Why did he not click Return there? I don't understand that play. I think we just go into Mega Glade here and click Close Combat. And that should be game 2 here. Should be game 2 here, bar a crit or anything crazy. Yep, that's going to be game. Close Combat. Picking up the kill. So yeah, that's going to be game 2, and we'll be back with the rest of this once it unfolds. So yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll be right back. So what had happened was there was 3 groups of 3 with nine players total, 3 groups of 3, and those 3 groups played within each other. So there was 2 matches for each group, 6 matches total, and then the winner of each group, or the player with the best record, and then okay, so the top records from each group come onto a bracket, a four-man bracket. So that's only 3 people to fill in a 4-man bracket. So to fill in the 4th spot, they took the outside of the 3 guys that made brackets. They took the next best record within all of the groups and then placed them in the bracket. I'm pretty sure that's how it went. Anyways, we're off against Gamora or Gamera. He's got Celesteela, Infernape, Zeraora, Amoonguss, Slowbro, Ditto, Miltank, and Mega Altaria, where his Z-move users are Infernape and Zeraora. Our team hasn't changed, and for this match, we built a squad with Life Orb, Modest, Tapu Koko, with enough speed to outpace Infernape. With Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, Brave Bird, and Roost, we're able to 2-hit KO everything on a squad. We've got a Choppleberry Hydreigon with Dragon Pulse, Flamethrower, Flash Cannon, and Roost. We've got a Mega Glade with Swords Dance, Close Combat, Zen Headbutt, and X Scissor. Nidoqueen, which is a Max HP, Max Spadef variant with Sludge Wave, Thunderbolt, Stealth Rock, and Taunt. And we've got a Iron Plate Scizor with the Technician ability with U-Turn, Bullet Punch, Roost, and Swords Dance. And then we've got a Max Defense Eviolite Volibee with Brave Bird, Taunt, Roost, and Toxic. So, looking at this matchup, I think my best lead is going to be potentially Tapu Koko. Yeah, I think Tapu Koko's a fine lead. It could be problematic if he leads with the Infernape, though. I still think Tapu Koko's my best lead, though. And we can go from there. So he leads off with his Infernape. That gives me valuable information. This thing's most likely his Stealth Rocker. He doesn't have any other Stealth Rockers. Koko's so good in this matchup that it's not worth the risk here on turn 1. However, I do think it would be a 2-hit KO. And if he goes for rocks, it could be really great for us. Yeah, Thunderbolt should pick up the knockout here. Unless he's Sash or Scarf, like I mentioned. But if he is Scarf, Flare Blitz can't knock us out. Gunk Shot could potentially knock us out. So what's the play here? I know he's not going to click Close Combat because I'm a Fairy type, so I could go hard Hydreigon here and then double out into Nidoqueen. That could potentially be the play, unless he actually goes for the U-turn. What I can do here is go hard Volibee, as my opponent just U-turns out here. So he will be able to hard switch into his Mega Altaria and potentially go for a big Hyper Voice or Dragon Dance up. Could be problematic either way. I think my best play is going into my Nidoqueen, as he goes for Frustration here, so that's not too bad. He could go for Earthquake here. I am Shukaberry, and I could catch him off guard with a big Sludge Wave here. I think my best play is actually to just click Stealth Rock, as he goes hard into his Slowbro here. And now I'm gonna click Thunderbolt. I got the terrain. Let me just calc real quick. Slowbro, if he's Assault Vest, in the electric terrain, this should do about half. And if he doubles out into Ditto to scout for it, that could be a big play. And I think it's something that he could consider here at this point, because he's got big damage off here. He did reveal Leftovers. He could also go out into Amoonguss here, predicting the Earth Power, which I don't have. I only have Sludge Wave. I'm going to go into Hydreigon here. I don't expect him to go anything other than Ditto. Yeah, there comes the Ditto. So he could lock himself into Dragon Pulse here. I think my best play is potentially going Tapu Koko. However, I could go into my own Volibee, and he won't be able to 2-hit KO me. And if he goes for the Dragon type move, then I can just hard switch into my Koko the following turn. Or is bringing Koko out here the best case scenario? I think bringing Koko out here is the best case scenario, because I have coverage to hit the Amoonguss. So what I can do is go for the Brave Bird here. I'm going to roost up one turn. I don't want to reveal Brave Bird just yet, or that I'm a Life Orb variant. And what this allows me to do is go back out into Volibee, where I can throw off a Toxic and potentially catch his Mega Altaria up on switch in. So yeah, I think Toxic is the play here. And we catch the Mega Ataria upon switch in. And we're going to go hard Scizor here as he goes for the Earthquake. So not a bad play at all by him. If he's got Flamethrower, he's going to go for it here. Nothing else makes sense. I'm going to go hard into my Hydreigon. No, Flamethrower is his only play. I'm going to go into my Tapu Koko expecting his Celesteela. Yes. So now what I can do here is just click Thunderbolt. And yeah, he clicks Protect here. And now I can condition him. Like, he should switch out here, and I'm going to go for the Brave Bird, predicting his Amoonguss to come out. LSD, there it is. Does a nice 40%. So what I could do here is go for Brave Bird again, and I could get a little chip off on the Ditto. I mean, the Amoonguss. I could knock out the Amoonguss, or I could get some chip off on the Ditto. But I think going Ditto here is his play because he would become the Koko. And I can just click Dazzling Gleam here. Life Orb Dazzling Gleam after Stealth Rocks. See there? See there? Fuck yeah! So that keeps, so what's he going to go for here? I don't see him clicking Thunderbolt. He could click Dazzling Gleam. I think his best play is probably clicking Brave Bird. What do I want to lose here? All of my mons are so good at this point. Can I win without Nidoqueen? Is Nidoqueen important? Tapu Koko is super important, so that's not an option to let go. Nidoqueen's really nice. Mega Gallade's staying. Keeping Volibee around. So maybe Scizor's my weak link. As he actually roosted up here, so that's not a bad play either. So I can just U-turn out here. As he goes back into a Celesteela. This gives me Tapu Koko once again. As I can just click Thunderbolt here. He may predict me to roost on his Protect. Okay, he doesn't predict that. He just clicks Protect, so that's a good play on him. Amoonguss is pretty safe here, so I'm just gonna click Thunderbolt. Not over predicting or anything. And that opens up a huge hole for Scizor. So that's really nice. At the same time, though, so he brings this thing in. So Volibee's my play. Infernape's a huge threat. So Volibee's definitely my play. He did reveal U-turn, so I'm pretty sure he's Choice Scarf based on the fact that he revealed U-turn on turn 1. So we're going to see what he goes for here. He goes for the U-turn once again. And more than likely, yeah, bringing his Mega Altaria out. So that was expected. I guess we have a kind of a predicament here. Is Infernape? No, Infernape's only at 88%. So it's not quite chipped down yet to the point that we need it to be. We're going to go into Nidoqueen. It covers the Frustration and the Roost and the Flamethrower because of our bulk. And we still have a Sugar Berry intact. I don't know if he's going to be faster than us, actually. But we're just going to click Sludge Wave here. As he knocks us out with Frustration. So that's not too bad, I don't think. So I think either way, Infernape's coming in, right? So what I can do here, if Infernape's coming in, even if I bring Koko in, I don't need to take Life Orb damage. I got an idea. I can maybe bait the Infernape to come in. I can click Flash Cannon here with my Hydreigon. Bait the Infernape to come in. If he brings in the Infernape, I can just click Dragon Pulse and not really mind what he goes for. If he brings in the Ditto here, then I can go hard into my Scizor. But he actually brings in the Slowbro, so that's interesting. I'm going to click Dragon Pulse here, and we're going to be able to knock him out. So perhaps he was banking on me being being locked into that. However, I wasn't. And he goes for the U-turn once again, opting not to lock himself into close combat just yet. So I'm just going to reveal Flamethrower here as he goes back out into his Ditto. Not a bad play. Not a bad play. Not a bad play at all, to be honest. I do expect him to roost here, so I'm going to click Dragon Pulse. As he doesn't roost, he actually just clicks Flamethrower, maybe predicted my Scizor to come in. He was definitely predicting something there. And I think my best play is to go to, yeah, I don't need I don't need Hydreigon anymore, so I can just go into, or stay in and let this thing go down and click Dragon Pulse. And I can go into Mega Gallade here and click the Zen Headbutt. This should pick up a knockout if I land. I do land, so that's good. And now we just lock ourselves into Zen Headbutt here. He gets a crit and almost knocks us out there, but not quite able to knock us out, and that's going to be your game. So yeah, we're going to be, I think this was considered semifinals, and we're going to be moving on to the finals now. So that's going to be a good game, and we'll be right back with the finals when that comes around. So yeah, look out for that. Okay, so here we are with the finals. We've got the finals here, and we're facing off against Checkmate. You guys may remember him from a league, the World Showdown Series, where I think it was their first season in the league. He was there. Might have been season 4 as well, season 3 or 4, one of the two. And we had a pretty fun game then. So here we are in finals of this tour, this speed tournament. And he's drafted a pretty funky squad. He actually had quite a bit of points left over. I'm not sure that he actually knew that we had a 8-point limit. Anyways, his full roster is, as you can see on screen, Hawlucha, Necrozma, Mega Camera, Tapu Bulu, the Goodra, Kartana, and he also had Jellicent and Spupa. And Jellicent, throughout the tour, he's did really well with Jellicent, throwing off Will-O-Wisp, setting up Trick Rooms, so on and so forth. So we've built a pretty fun squad as well. We've got a Life Orb, Tapu Koko with Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, and Hidden Power Water for the Mega Camera, and then Roost for longevity, and our speed creeping a Hawlucha. Next up, we've got a Hydreigon with the Expert Belt, Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse, and Hidden Power Poison. They're all super effective moves versus everything outside of the Kartana, and the Hawlucha, which has just weak defenses anyway. And I guess Mega Camera up as well. And then we've got Roost for longevity and a modest nature, enough speed to outpace a max speed Goodra, which I'm not necessarily expecting anyway. Next up, we've got Mega Gallade, which has enough speed to outpace Kartana, which is nearly max speed. And then we've got quite a bit of attack investment and a little bit of bulk. We've got Swords Dance, Close Combat, and Zen Headbutt. Swords Dance, Close Combat, Zen Headbutt, and Knockoff, excuse me. And I really wanted to run X-Scissor, but I had to run Knockoff for the Jellicent as well as the Necrozma. Next up, we've got an Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Shadow Ball, Toxic Spikes, Life Orb, Sheer Force, Nidoqueen, with enough speed to outpace Bulu. And then we've got a defensive Scizor there for the Bulu and the Kartana. And then we've got a Spadef Swampert there for the Mega Camera and Goodra to an extent, with Stealth Rock, Toxic, Earth Power, and Sludge Wave. We can catch Bulu with the Sludge Wave upon switch in, which is really nice. So our only Stealth Rocker, well, we've got 2 potential Stealth Rockers in this match. I think Necrozma is a fine lead for him. So I'm going to lead off with Hydreigon. As he's actually going to lead off with his Tapu Bulu here. So I'm going to click the Hidden Power Poison and see what my opponent wants to go for here. Well, he could have Superpower, so maybe I want to switch out to my Scizor. Yeah, I'm going to switch out to my Scizor here as he goes for the Protect. And he doesn't really have, like, there's no reason for him to not go, like, Mega Camera up or just switch out. There's no reason for him to stay in. I'm going to click U-turn here on this turn. And if he stays in, then I will switch it up on the following turn. As he reveals Hidden Power. Hidden Power Fire. So that took a big chunk out of my Scizor there. Probably expected it to be a switch in. So I'm going to bring out my middle queen here, and I'm just going to throw off a Toxic Spike here. He may click Protect, he may throw off a powerful grass type move. It's really untelling what he'll go for. But goes out to the Goodger. So this is fine, this isn't terrible. I could potentially go out to my Swampert and get rocks up. That's not a bad play. I don't think this thing has anything to hit me super effectively with. You could go for the Earthquake though. Does it get Energy Ball? Does Goodger get Energy Ball or anything like that? It does get Power Whip, which could be problematic, especially in the grassy terrain. Ah, goodness. This is a tough one. I think my play is to go into Scizor and then double out. Oh no, I got frozen. Double out into Swampert. I got frozen, which is really, really, really bad. And what I can do here is try to poison this this Goodra, or I could set up Stealth Rock. Both are a fine play. I don't have a Kartana check anymore with my Scizor frozen. That could very well be game. That's scary to think about and to say. So I'm going to set up a Stealth Rock here. He may very well go for Power Whip. I could, I don't know if I want to get my rocks up. Let me cancel that real quick. And let me just think for just a second. Power Whip or Draco is his play. I could go into Tapu Koko here and see what he wants to go for. I don't see Earthquake coming out, not on this play, it wouldn't make sense. I could click Toxic here to weaken the Goodra, or I could just get Rocks up. I think Rocks is a fine play. I'm just going to get my Rocks up here and see what he wants to go for. He could go hard into his Bulu or his Kartana. Kartana would be a fine play as well, because it could be the defog mon on his squad. Man, this is tough. Yeah, that freeze on Scizor sucks. And there's not a move I can come in on and that go away, like a Scald or something from Jellicent. Would be very nice at this point. Dang, a freeze, dude, and this tour has been so clean so far. Dang. So, yeah, I could throw off a Toxic here. He could be Assault Vest. Maybe Hydreigon's a good play. I could switch into Hydreigon here and bait out a Draco. No, probably just getting rocks up is my best play. He's taking quite a bit of time to pick his play as well, so I'm sure he doesn't have the Power Whip if it's taking him this long to pick his move. And I'm just going to double check and see if Swampert even lives a Power Whip. Let's say we got Power Whip. Yeah, it shouldn't knock me out if he's bulky. Yeah, even with like max attack, he's not doing over. He's not doing even half. He's doing about 40% max. So we can get our rocks up here, and Leaf Blade is pretty free at this point. I could go for the Earth Power here. Leaf Blade is so free for him. If he predicts my Scizor to come out, though, I could potentially knock him out here. Okay, so that was a misplay. Okay. So the good news is I can go into Hydreigon and bluff a Choice Scarf here. Right? And what bluffing a Choice Scarf allows me to do he could, what's his place here? He's got to predict the Flamethrower, right? He could go into his own Goodra. I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse. I'm going to bluff that I'm Scarf, and I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse here. Because Kartana at +1 should not be able to knock me out. Yeah, it does around half. And Dark Pulse will knock him out. So my play here is to go for Dark Pulse. And then hopefully his Bulu is not Assault Vest. We know that for a fact. Hopefully he leaves it in. Maybe goes for a Protect. As we could click Dark Pulse again. That's a tough call, really. Yeah, so if he switches up his move here, we know that Gallade and Tapu Koko are faster than him, and we don't necessarily need Bulu. I guess it's a pretty solid way. I mean, we don't necessarily need Hydreigon outside of it being a pretty solid way to catch Bulu off guard and to knock out the Necrozma in one shot. If this thing's Scarf and he stays in to attack me, then Dark Pulse will knock it out. If he switches out to anything, it takes Dark Pulse damage plus rocks and it's poisoned, which is really nice. If this is his only defog user, I don't really see it being a Scarf variant if it is defog, and also if it's Scarf, I don't see it being defog. Okay, okay. So if he goes for defog, I know he's not Scarf, and if he stays in and he is Scarf, I know he's not defog. That's what I was trying to get out there. So. Yeah, this thing, Mega Camerupt comes in. I don't have my Swampert anymore, but I don't necessarily need it. All I needed it for was this Mega Camerupt here. So that did 40%, so I'm guaranteed to knock him out on the following turn. Question is, do I live whatever hit he goes for? And I think Dark Pulse is definitely my play here. Yeah, Dark Pulse is definitely my play. Whether or not it knocks him out, it doesn't matter. I get a flinch, so I'm not sure. Like he what was the play earlier? Oh, he froze me, and now I get a flinch. It kind of makes up for it. It doesn't really make up for it because my Scizor is still impaired, and it had Hidden Power Fire for Kartana. I was weakened by the Bulu, but at the same time, I had ways to get back to full, like roosting up on Hawlucha or roosting up on a Kartana locked into something like Leaf Blade or Smart Strike. So at this point, he's back into his Goodra. Unfortunately, I think my play is to just sack my Scizor. As sucky as that is. And then I could go into my Gallade here and see if I got enough. See if I've got enough damage output to knock him out here. So after a round of Toxic, I think Scizor is definitely my play because I can potentially thaw out here. I can potentially thaw out here, and if I get some chip on this Goodra, that would be really, really nice. So I'm going to go for that. I don't have another play either, and he doesn't have a Bullet Punch switch in. So I do stay frozen, so that's unfortunate. But nothing I could really do about that. And at this point, Goodra should be in range of Mega Gallade's close combat. But do I want to take damage just yet? I have to. Close combat is really my only play. I could click Zen Headbutt, but it's not really worth it. I think close combat is my play here. Yeah, close combat is my play, or maybe Zen Headbutt's my play to avoid a defense drop. How much does Zen Headbutt? Zen Headbutt doesn't even do 50%. So yeah, close combat is my only play here. Darn it. Necrozma could be built to take me on. But the good news is if he is especially offensive, even after a special defense drop, he can't knock me out with a max special attack. Timid Photon Geyser. It does 99 max, can't do 100. So that would be nice if we can get the knockout here on the Gudra, which if he is the set that I'm thinking he is, we do a minimum of 62%. So it'd be really nice to survive here. Or to knock him out. Yeah, he could definitely switch out, and if he goes Necrozma, I think our play is to go for Swords Dance. But yeah, he does just stay in. And now our play is to basically just go hard Hydreigon. It doesn't matter what move he goes for, he can't knock us out with any one hit. So our play is to go into Hydreigon and basically spam Dark Pulse. As he removes Hydreigon from the game. Very, very nice play. But oh man, dude. And I almost went Coco, man. I should have went Coco. Hydreigon was so good in this matchup. It prevented the Leaf Blade sweep. Yeah, I think going into Coco here is the best play. What we can do is just click Thunderbolt. If it doesn't knock him out, it should put him in range of poison, or put him in range to for us to be able to click Roost on the following turn, so that he lives maybe on a Slither. No, he doesn't. He's just straight up dropped. So some things can happen here. Excuse my stuttering there. That was very not cool. So I can live any one hit from Kartana still. Unfortunately, I think Life Orb will put me down. Thankfully, only one Life Orb hit is all I need to put down the Kartana. Alright, so his play is to go into Bulu. My play is to go hard into Nidoqueen, and then back out into my Hawlucha, and then back out into my Nidoqueen. Basically so that I can have Electric Terrain up with my Nidoqueen in versus his Bulu. In worst case scenario, we come in with a Nidoqueen facing off against Hawlucha or Kartana. So yeah, there's just some big plays here. Big plays, big plays, big plays. Like these plays are the ones that matter the most in the game. I cannot believe I did not expect the Savage spin out. I will be completely honest. Yeah, 100% did not expect that. So I've got to go. Yeah, and he goes hard into this thing. So yeah, that's basically. I'm going hard, Coco. And now I can roost up. Oh, that's the thing. Oh, he had poison jab. I didn't expect the poison jab. So he's got the acrobatics. Now the question is, let's see here. We get Glade on field against a Hallelujah with a +1 defense. Not a +1 attack. +1 defense. And no item. Zen Headbutt does 77 to 91%. So I could go into Glade here. Let's see here. How much does Nidoqueen do with Sludge Wave? Does about 70%. The only problem with that is if Kartana is Scarf and he weakens my Nidoqueen to the point of being able to one-shot me. Question is, does my Nidoqueen die to a +2 acrobatics from Hallelujah? And it's actually in my favor. So maybe my play is to go Mega Glade here. I could go Mega Glade here and just Zen Headbutt. Let's just recap that real quick. If he is a +1 defense, I'm not sure how much investment he has, but he's a +1 defense. So does acrobatics knock me out? Though is the question. And if he is adamant, it does knock me out. If he is jolly, it still has a chance to knock me out. So my play is to go Nidoqueen here and just click Sludge Wave. And I think that's going to be a good game. He decides not to boost up. I'm just going to check and see if that was a roll. So he's definitely adamant. Yeah, he's definitely adamant. And the play here is to just click Zen Headbutt. And yeah, he's going to win. Oh man, that was a good game. So we're going to come up short in our second straight Draft League World Series Speed Tour, which is a little bit unfortunate, but this guy's a fantastic battler. I'm glad that he come out of his semi-retirement or whatever for this tournament. I'm not sure if he's actively playing or not, but I know he's taking some time away from the World Showdown Series, and hopefully these Speed Tours could maybe influence him to come back to the league for sure. But yeah, it's going to be a good game, and we're going to lose in the finals here. Excuse me. Anyways, yeah, we're coming up short here in the fourth game, but yeah, really fun squad. Glad that I participated. It was basically an all-day event. Took about 4.5 hours, which was really fun. So yeah, that's going to be it. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the prep and the plays on all 4 battles on both sides of the field. And then yeah, just drop a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.